It is now time to move on to our next session. Well, we live in an era where change is the only constant and has become literally accurate. Brands of today that want to stay here for a long haul need to seize every opportunity that come their way. For a brand looking to achieve equity and loyalty, the strategy of co-marketing can help generate more visibility and sales by advertising to another brand's audience. Well, for this, we're joined by Sameer Seth, Director Marketing India, Dolby Laboratories, sharing an insight on how co-marketing can help build brand equity. Well, with this, thank you so much, Mr. Sameer Seth, for joining us and giving us your valuable time. How are you doing today? Over to you.
Very well, Bhavna. Thank you so much. I think thanks for setting up that wonderful context. Much appreciated. And good evening, everyone. At the outset, thanks to you all for making time to be, on this journey and this conversation. So I have an interesting, topic to talk to you about today, and this is the concept of co-marketing or collaborative marketing, as it's called. Let me just pull up my slides while I do that. So this concept of co-marketing or collaborative marketing, as it's also called, is a very efficient marketing tool that marketers like us can deploy, not only to co-create value, which I think is the new currency. How could brands, like-minded brands, come together to co-create value, and in the process, help build equity for the brand that the marketer kind of drives. With that, let me just take you back in history and let me talk to you, about the popular marketing mix that we all marketers, like talking about. Having said that, with a word of caution, consumers today, no surprises, are getting increasingly elusive, and the cost per contact that all marketers have to keep an eye on has increased multifold, and this is even more pronounced now in the digital economy that we are moving towards, where experiences increasingly are getting delivered, online, with us all, having a shelter in place and not sort of, moving out as frequently or as often as we used to in the non-pandemic days. So talking about marketing makes the popular four-piece concept, which I think was introduced in the back in the 1960s, came at a time when there were comparatively fewer media channels, right? I mean, the popular conventional channels, like television, radio, out of home, and print, had lesser, challenges for the marketeers. In the digital world that we live today, consumers would, engage with you or with your brand across multiple channels, and this really, creates a dispensed consumer journey that you as a marketer or we as marketers need to sort of tie back together and bring it all together. And this really muddies the dimension of the place and the promotion of the two important P's of the 4P framework, and makes the whole process even more complex. So the need of the hour really is to look at marketing campaigns today, that need to be sort of re-engineered, and this is where the whole concept of co-marketing, which I will talk about shortly, comes in. So, talking about marketing in today's context, I believe an effective marketing campaign definitely is one that really can act as a bridge between the consumer and the product, and of course, create a relationship that gets mutually gratifying, and that really is the key of an efficient marketing strategy or a marketing plan that a brand could possibly create and deliver. And the key to a successful marketing campaign also is to develop a very clear insight. I think I've been hearing a few conversations from my other colleagues who presented. Everyone's talking about be clear in terms of your objective, have a purpose to begin with, have a objective then to deliver, and then make it measurable, but base all of this on an insight, which again is a typical trap that often marketers fall into, because you don't really differentiate often well between data and insight. So you can basically get excited with a lot of data and not sieve out the inside basis which you should be working on a campaign, and that really will not sort of create much value. And especially in this pandemic induced economy, another interesting thing to keep in mind really is that relatable content, especially through video, enables, I believe, to strike a better chord with the consumers. So campaigns which are video-based content which tell a story or which solve and not sell definitely will leave a mark in the minds of the consumers. And I see these as opportunities more than a challenge to really connect with the consumers. And that really is the marketing in today's context, in this whole pandemic induced economy that now we sort of live in. With that, let me transition into this concept of co-marketing or collaborative marketing, which I believe is a great way to co-create value. And how could you co-create value as a brand with by partnering with like-minded partner brands, as long as all of them have a common goal that they're chasing, and you can really use this as a tool to do effective storytelling. At the end of it, we all marketers are storytellers, right? I mean, we create stories and we deliver our stories in a meaningful manner, which again helps bridge the bridge that I was talking about between the consumer and the experience that you're trying to deliver. And in this process, you can build value around a shared product or a service. And I'll give you an example. In our context, I represent Dolby as a brand, and Dolby as a brand is something that advances the science behind sight and sound as two sort of experiences to create and enable spectacular experiences. And we don't have a consumer product of our own, and we create and deliver these experiences through collaborative partnerships that we have with a lot of brands. I mean, when we bring our innovations to people through collaborative marketing or through collaborations that we have with artists, with businesses, and of course with consumers worldwide. And this is where this whole genesis of co-marketing or collaborative marketing sort of comes in. And I have an example to share, especially in the Indian context. So as most of my fellow colleagues were talking about, the campaign or a campaign thought really needs to be on the premise of an insight. And let me draw your attention to the impact that the pandemic really has had on entertainment habits. And from there came a few insights that we pulled out through some consumer studies we did, basis which we conceived this campaign called Dolby Everywhere, where we used co-marketing or collaborative marketing as a tool for storytelling. So a recent consumer study that we did, which talks about changing entertainment habits, consumers are spending more on quality to better connect with content. Gone are those days when Indian consumers would consume entertainment content in a passive manner, right? I mean, the TV is kind of blaring in the background while my dinner is being served, or I am trying to practice economy of motion by taking a phone call while the TV is kind of blaring in the back, and it's kind of passive viewing that I'm doing. It's not the case anymore. Consumers are increasingly engaging with content purely because there is a shelter in place. I'm spending more time. I want to consume this content in a better format, in an enhanced experience that I could drive. And that really was an insight that we picked up. And just throwing some numbers here from a primary study we did with Wakefield, which is a global research agency. And in the Indian context, what came out was the fact that 94% of the respondents we spoke to, and this is a fairly sizable population we went to, mentioned that they are willing to pay more for a premium subscription, as long as that subscription gives them an enhanced video and audio quality experience in their living rooms. And this upgrade is not limited just to content, but the research also pointed to Indian consumers planning to even upgrade their entertainment gear or devices for a better enhanced experience, purely because they are seeking an active they're consuming content in a more active rather a passive sort of manner. The same insight is reflected on the other screen, or the popular screen, India being a mobile first nation, no surprises here, and that really is my personal entertainment device. Again, we did another study with the cyber media research among the smartphone users in India, and that study also revealed that during the course of the pandemic, audio quality has become a very, very important consideration or an attribute that a consumer considers when he or she goes out to buy a new smartphone. So it's contrary to the popular belief that I would buy a smartphone because it gives me a better battery life, or it gives me a better resolution camera, or it gives me a better processor. It's audio quality now, purely because whatever you can think of doing on your smartphone today, even if it's a voice call, it is audio. If it's AV content, it's audio. If it's streaming audio content, it is audio. So suddenly the consumer behavior towards entertainment consumption has changed. There is more emphasis on enhanced quality, for both entertainment as well as streaming audio sort of experiences. Last but not the least, another study we did with Kantar, among music, consumers in India, and that again revealed the same fact. 9 out of 10, active music listeners believe that a premium audio experience or a premium audio quality experience is extremely critical when it comes to streaming music. With these three studies, all these three studies point to a very strong consumer intent for enhanced visual and audio experience across screen types. I mean, living room, on-the-go experience on mobile, and so on and so forth. And drawing insights from these three consumer studies, the Dolby Everywhere campaign that I'm going to talk about highlights, the Dolby experience that we bring to life, across these scenarios. So from Insight came, some of our objectives, which I want to talk about. So first and foremost, the objective of the campaign that we recently unveiled was to educate the consumer about this Dolby difference that is available to them in various scenarios, like the living room, at work, or as you work from home, in the cinemas, the purest form of experience that we all are longing for, with cinemas opening up now in India, or on-the-go experiences. We do consume a lot of content while we're on the go, or while we used to take flights in the recent past. I haven't taken a flight for about 2 years now. So I'm missing those on-the-go experiences. The second objective of this campaign really was to also create awareness about lifelike experiences that Dolby sort of powers up by connecting with the consumer through content. We all buy these devices for great content experiences that we seek, and we connected with by connecting with the consumer through the passion point. So for example, my passion point is sports, or my passion is music. So if I am able to connect with you to explain how you can get your sports or your music experience in a better manner, I think I'll have a better storytelling experience. And that really brings me quickly to my reference to co-marketing or collaborative marketing. So with that objective, campaign objective in mind, drawn on the insights that I just spoke about, we came up with this whole Dolby Experience campaign, and we created a hero film, which is a fairly long film, purely because it was aimed at driving, education more than driving awareness. And we created cut downs from that big, 3-minute film, and we partnered some of the leading, entertainment brands, in the country. And I'm super proud of what we sort of co-created. As I said, co-marketing is all about co-creating, partnering with like-minded partners, where you can cross-leverage your collective might to make a meaningful, a story that you could deliver to the audiences. And this cut downs that we created, which you see on the thumbnails on the slide, entertainment in Dolby with content on Netflix, or sports in Dolby in your living room on an LG OLED TV, for example. Or you can experience the best of entertainment infotainment content on your Lenovo PC, or the purest form of entertainment in the cinemas with PVR cinemas, or music or streaming music, because consumers are seeking a focused music streaming experience. So why not experience it in your living room on an Amazon Echo Studio, or on the go on Hungama Music. So we partnered each of these brands, which are really making meaningful experiences in the spaces they operate. And we created these cut downs. Again, working with a lot of partners can be challenging, but I think it was an absolute marketer's delight to have big brands and like-minded partners kind of come together, and with a common objective, which was really to align, to execute and amplify this whole seamlessly. So this is where we all sort of came together and kind of amplified. So with that, I'm going to take a quick pause, and I will play a quick video. It's always better to have video do the storytelling, as I said, video-based content marketing. So I hope the audio plays well, and I'm just going to pull up the video for you all.
Believe that he's somebody who can confidently attack any ball. And here's a big one. Will it cross the boundary? Will it land in the mark? No one is the six. So I think what we managed, to do with this co-marketing effort with like-minded partners, which I spoke about, was more importantly, our partners love it, and they felt that this was something that each brand, for example, LG, super proud of what they told us as feedback. The fact that this was a co-marketing effort towards educating consumers on what really is this Dolby experience that they get when they buy an LG TV that comes with a technology, or for that matter, how can you get an enhanced video and an audio experience through Netflix as a brand, and so on and so forth. So I think that it really worked from a partner marketing or a B2B2C marketing standpoint. Having said that, the consumers at the end of it, I mean, we are an ingredient brand which is wanting to be, and we are increasingly working towards being more consumer facing, and this really kind of worked well, where we used two levers, digital marketing lever, which really delivered video views. For example, we were quite delighted to see 100% full video view consumption happening for a long form content like this, which you saw. The first part of the AV really was the long 3-minute film that we ran, and there were 100% video views, which meant that there was something meaningful, a meaningful storytelling happening there. And of course, from a PR standpoint, I think that really was the aerial cover that came in here. This is my last slide. Just want to do a quick recap on this whole concept of co-marketing,
which I said is definitely a marketeer's delight, because co-marketing campaigns really allow brands to firstly broaden their audience set. Just imagine the collective might that we had with the brands that I just spoke about, versus had we just chosen to go solo, right? Had we just chosen to go direct to consumer ourselves, versus the collective might that we had partner brands kind of collaborate and amplify at their end, use their audience set to deliver this experience. Of course, as I leverage cross audiences and increase awareness by tapping multiple channels at once. Another interesting aspect from a co-marketing standpoint really is that it allows the partners to capitalize on strengths of each other and use this whole collective might to further amplify a common message. So I see co-marketing as a concept being used increasingly. I see that happening across media and entertainment as a category, definitely, where you can co-create value rather than you as a marketer just focusing on creating equity or relevance just for the brand that you represent. So use collective mind, bring like-minded partners together, define a common goal, and you'll have a successful campaign which could work both from a B2B2C and a D2C sort of perspective. And that's all I have to share. I'm just leaving behind my coordinates in case I'm being prodded that I don't have much time to take questions. So just leaving my contact behind in case there are any questions. I love to engage, fairly connected, would love to respond to your questions. Back to you, Bhavna.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Well, definitely I'll urge our audience to stay in touch, connect with you and your team on LinkedIn and other social media platforms, and let's all have a great conversation ahead. Thank you once again, Mr. Seth.
Pleasure. Thank you.